Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdsson of World Alternative Media here, and we are joined once again by Ben Swann. We all know who he is, and I really wanted to talk to you today about Isegoria because as independent media, I'm a little bit concerned about where the environment is going right now, a little bit, yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about what Isegoria is? I know it's launching, in late 2019?
That's the hope. The hope is to get this thing launched in late 2019. So it's essentially, for short, we'll make it easy for people, it's going to be ICE Media, right? And the goal is to create a decentralized platform for independent media. Now this is going to be a 24/7 over-the-top streaming channel, just like you would get, on your Apple TV or your Roku, filled with original content and independent content. There will be a second tier to it. That second tier will actually be a channel system similar to what YouTube has to give a home to all these independent voices who are being purged right now from Twitter, purged from Facebook, purged from YouTube. And so to kind of migrate those voices over there. And then thirdly, and this is probably the most exciting part for a content creator like you, is to create a treasury system that essentially allows independent media to get the funding that it needs. Because, look, a lot of people will say, we just need to make a platform, a place for these folks to go. And that's true, there needs to be a platform. But if there is no funding ability for content creators to create content, there won't be any content anyway. So why build the platform, right? And so we have to create a way so that content creators who have ideas, who have concepts they want to work on, who have investigations they want to do, who have stories they want to report, to give them a way to get funded. And we would decentralize that treasury system by allowing our audience to actually receive proposals and then to vote on those based on whether they think the project's doable, is it within budget, does it make sense, that kind of thing.
And as far as, everyone's opinionated and all that. We've seen that with things like Steemit. There's been some problems there with people have a certain opinion, they'll downvote other people. That they. I wanted to kind of ask about, this isn't just, people making gun videos on YouTube that are getting kicked off. People making gay rights videos on YouTube are getting kicked off. There's going to be an influx of people from both sides of the spectrum and outside of the spectrum. Where is there incentive for people with different viewpoints? Because, in a lot of these social media networks, you see a lot of echo chambers pop up.
Sure, listen, we understand there will be echo chambers, and there are some people who prefer it that way. As viewers, they want to get into their echo chamber and just be validated in the belief system they hold. But what we want to be able to create is a system where you have access to other viewpoints. My hope is that we create debate. My hope is we create discussion. My hope is that we create a system where there is more to talk about and to even disagree on. It's okay that people disagree with each other and have different views. We need more of that, not less of it.
Okay. And can you go a little bit into the technological side of this, how this really works? I know we got a lot of people in the tech space watching, and I'm not expecting you to go into the code or anything, but yeah. But can you talk a little bit about how it works? You talked about the voting system. Can you just go a little bit deeper into that?
So I can't go too deep into it because it's under development right now. So I don't want to contradict something that it ends up becoming in the future. But what I can tell you is that the goal is to give our viewers and users and consumers, right, the most power in being able to choose content, but also to move content between those tiers, to take content that maybe is obscure on some channel, right, where it's not getting a lot of views, but it's good content, and somebody says, well, let's get this thing moved up and get it into that 24/7 streaming side of it so that it's seen by more people. So we're going to create a series of systems so that it's not just the funding that viewers have voting control over, but also the ability to actually move content up and to get it seen by more people.
Here's an important question. Can anything be taken down? Can a video be deleted by some centralized authority within it?
So there will be that ability, yes, because there will be some very basic terms of service. Child pornography is not going to live on the site. Videos of people being murdered is not going to be on the site. So unlike Facebook, so we will have some basic controls. But in terms of creating a heavy-handed system, no, there will not be a system in place that says, if people are offended by your video, then we're going to take it down because we don't want people to be offended. I'm okay with people being offended. The only way that you're going to change someone's mind is to confront people who are offending you and be able to deal with them. So it will be very different than what we see right now, which is this knee-jerk reaction to everything that is deemed to be insensitive.
I'm very offended. I like the centralized Facebook, site. No, I mean, and you mentioned, people getting killed. I mean, you see that on Facebook when Gaddafi was killed. Everywhere you looked, all over the news, it's him getting killed.
And there's like 50 actual murders that have been broadcast on Facebook Live. Yeah. Right, it happens, and obviously that Facebook doesn't want that. They're not promoting that. But so some terms of service are reasonable, and obviously the content that we have will also have to fit within the scope of what we're trying to do. There are other sites out there that have other things on them, but we won't be that.
So I have to ask, when was the moment that this kind of clicked to you and that you wanted to get involved in something like this?
So it's interesting because we initially, when I went independent the second time and was working with these cryptocurrencies, Dash and then Smart Cash, they have a treasury system that's in place. And what we did was we looked at that treasury system and said, this is great. And I started to see a lot of other media after I did it now going to those entities and saying, hey, fund what we're doing as journalists. And we saw a huge influx of them, whereas nobody was really doing it before us. Then all of a sudden everybody came in, and my team and I looked at each other and said, you know what, the problem is these crypto treasuries are not designed to support this. They're designed to build out and market their particular currency, their particular coin. And so we said, what we need to do is we need to create a system so that they have a place to go. That was before the Facebook purge, the Twitter purge, and now, even in the last, 60 days or so, the deplatforming in terms of the funding mechanisms from PayPal and Patreon and GoDaddy and all those. So as we're watching that happen, we see even more now the need to get this done.
Absolutely. It's about time. I mean, with influx of independent media, especially over the last 10 years, we've seen a real shift in the tide. People are waking up to many different things that they'd never had access to previously. And of course, that is going to make mainstream media is a little bit scared. I mean, independent medias are getting more viewers these days than mainstream media. So obviously, they're going to freak out a little bit. And having those alternatives are really important. So I really appreciate that you're doing this. When is this going to be released?
So we're hoping by Q4 of 2019, we'll actually have it up and running. Fingers crossed. Obviously, there's a lot to do. We're building essentially a media company and a blockchain company at the same time. So there's a lot to do in that space, but that's what we're hopeful for is Q4 of 2019.
Okay, so how can our viewers get involved and support the work that you're doing?
So the best thing to do right now, is to go, if you want to learn more about this project, you go to isegoria.com. That's isegoria.com, and there you can find all the details about the treasury, about the system, and how it will all work. And then beyond that, obviously, we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search Ben Swann or Isegoria. You can find us there. It's pretty easy.
All right, well, I really appreciate you joining us in beautiful Miami. It's always nice. I know you're from Cincinnati, so this is a pretty nice place to be right now in January. So really appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks so much.
Like what you see here, OM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored on YouTube, as these guys come in and flag all of our content as hate speech. Also, check out our Bitcoin address below as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And also check us out at steemit.com. We're at Josh Sigurdsson. It's a future of social media where you get paid in the upvote of your post in cryptocurrency. Steem, that is. So make sure to check us out there. Make sure to join us at Anarchapulco 2019 with people like Ron Paul, G. Edward Griffin, of course, Jeff Berwick, Vid Jedlicka. So many incredible speakers are going to be speaking. It's just a massively growing event. It is something you have to see to believe. So make sure to check it out below and save money on your tickets by using promo code WAM, that's WAM, and I hope to see you there. Also, check out our newsletter as we are getting demonetized and censored and all that. We don't know what comes next, so we have an email, worldalternativemedia@gmail.com. Send us an email with subject line YES, YES, and we will include you in the newsletter where we will continuously keep you updated. So until next time, thanks for watching, everyone. This is Josh Sigurdsson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.